Warning. The following action sequences are performed by trained fighters in a controlled environment with referees and medical professionals on site. This type of activity is inherently dangerous, and participants compete at their own risk. Do not attempt this at home.
Welcome to this special edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. If you haven't noticed, it's the Johnny Ritchie Show. We're honoring Johnny Ritchie, the little ball of hate. We've been in business for about a year now, the Ultimate Combat has, and we wanted to honor some of the people that got us to the point we're at today, and nobody exemplifies that more than the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie. We're over here at Spirit West Studios tonight, just kind of looking back at some of the footage from early on in our show. And Johnny Ritchie, do you remember the first time you stepped into our rings?
No, I can remember the first time. I remember the kid's name and what he was wearing. His name was Jamie Temple, and he was this kid that I'll never forget. I mean, it was the first time I ever stepped into the ring, and this kid wore all black. He really freaked me out. He was a master of ninjutsu, and one thing that people still talk about today is during our fight, at one point he kind of starts to run away from me, and I grab him by the back of his shirt and chase him around the ring. But you'll see, it's a kick in the butt, and it was excellent. One of my first fights.
Johnny hogtied this kid. I remember you being a little bit nervous because he was a ninjutsu expert, but this fight goes by so fast, you blink and you miss it. So we threw two of them in, two of Johnny's first victims. Danny Durtschi also. So Johnny Ritchie, the early days, check it out, the little ball of hate.
The Ultimate Combat Experience starts now.
Warriors of the ultimate fight, get in the ring for the ultimate fight. I say we warriors of the ultimate fight, get in the ring for the ultimate fight. I say we warriors of the ultimate fight, get in the ring for the ultimate fight. I say we warriors of the ultimate fight, get in the ring for the.
We told you blink and you miss it. You blink twice and you miss both of those things. A little ball of hate, man. That's where he got his nickname. I came up with that because when he came into the ring, you saw, man. He's the greatest guy. You meet him in person, but man, he was a little ball of hate. We got a lot more of the little ball of hate coming up. Stick around.
This one is going to be fun. It's a couple of lightweights, no holds barred, and our first fighter into the ring, Jamie Temple.
Jamie Temple's a jiu-jitsu expert, but I think he's got his hands full here tonight.
Yeah, he better do his dancing quick. You can hear the crowd in the background. Earlier it was the Ute fans that were excited for a couple of former Utes, former and current Utes getting into the ring. Now I think it's BYU fans, Utes fans, Aggies fans.
Everybody loves Johnny. Johnny
jumping and hopping around. And
I'm not sure what that move is there. I think he's breakdancing here.
He's doing a little breakdance for us, and actually a little jump rope simulation. He looks like he is ready to go, but you know what? Having seen him fight before, I don't think Johnny's ever not been ready to fight.
Johnny always comes with his A game, and boy, he's got this place pumped up.
This is going to be a...
She's a assistant wrestling coach at Murray High School. Obviously, a lot of people came here to see him fight.
Boy, he is pumped up, and you can hear the crowd in the background, Johnny, and he's recognizing that, and he is full of energy. Although if I'm a trainer, I'm going to tell him to save some of that for after the bell.
Johnny's he's chock full of energy, that's for sure.
Boy, of fun, and I'm not sure Jamie knows exactly what to do.
He's not really sure where he's at.
Lonnie Foster's going to help us get started. He'll check one more time in the blue. Jamie's ready, and so is Johnny. So let's get it on here and see what happens. Immediately,
surprise, caught him by surprise there. Johnny got taken down.
Johnny started to make a kick, and Jamie grabbed his leg and took him down, but it is Johnny Ritchie who is on top. Throwing some punches here, missing with a couple, but now he's making contact.
He's making contact with a lot of those. Jamie's going to feel those.
He's got the legs around there and moved Johnny off of him, but that was a quick switch.
Looks like I like to see what Johnny was doing. He was listening to his corner, but now he's putting the punishment on this guy.
Boy, and one thing Jamie doesn't want to do is stand toe-to-toe and trade punches with Johnny Ritchie, who not only gets a big right hand, but he also throws a full mount, and whenever he can get a hand free, you can bet Johnny Ritchie is going to use it.
Yeah, he's raining the punches down on him.
Jamie, at this point, I think just trying to figure out what happened. He got off to what looked like a good start, but, well, now maybe Jamie Temple punches, kicks. There's another big right hand. And a left and a right.
And nothing coming back from Jamie. This thing's over.
Jamie's running from it. And a couple of kicks in there. Get a knee in for good measure.
He's taking a beating here. Lonnie's got to step in here pretty quick.
I would say just about anything and everything Johnny's throwing is landing somewhere. You wonder sometimes if he ever gets into a situation where he's had to go or has to go to extended rounds, whether he's going to have enough gas to get through it.
That's going to be his only concern as we move on in the tournament. He comes up against somebody tough. He's going to have to be ready to withstand that kind of energy throughout 3 rounds.
We've got some of the corner help stepping out to make sure Jamie's okay. He's got some blood there on the face, and that's not a surprise either, but he looks like he's going to be all right.
Talking to Jamie before this fight, he's a neat kid. He's no stranger to pain.
He's tapping out, so yeah, Lonnie's got to step in and stop this fight. That's the way he likes to fight, Johnny Ritchie, all out.
It actually seemed like he kind of liked it a little bit, so he looks like he's okay.
And Johnny Ritchie just going to take a couple of seconds here before we make this one official to soak in some of the ambiance and the atmosphere of the crowd. This has been a fun night, and they were all jacked up, ready for Johnny Ritchie to get out here. What did you call him? The little ball of hate, boy. I tell you what, he is all that. A lot of fun watching him fight. Yeah, give us one for the camera. There you go, big guy.
He's great television, isn't he?
Oh, that is. So Lonnie will get him out in the middle of the ring, and you saw it as it happened, but we'll make it official. Your winner in our main event tonight is, of course, Johnny Ritchie, recognizing his fans in the crowd, and he'll go on to fight again. It'll be fun to watch for him to come back again.
We look forward to seeing him fight in the future. He's a lot of fun, and he packs them in there, boy.
Right here at the Ultimate Combat Experience. It's got to be a little disconcerting for a fighter to come into the ring here, the entire crowd chanting your opponent's name.
Yeah, you know, this kid jumped into the tournament specifically to fight his opponent here tonight, so he knows what he's getting into.
His name is Danny Durtschi, and you hear the crowd, Johnny, Johnny. That must mean Johnny Ritchie is coming up in the red corner.
Johnny Little Ball of Hate Ritchie's on his way into the ring, and he's putting on a show as usual.
Some of the most fun of watching this guy fight is actually before the fight begins. Just watch some of this now.
He's great television.
Got the 6 shooters out, got a little throat slash, and we're ready to go in a no-holds-barred match. You won't be hurting for action here, I guarantee you. Right hand and a left hand that makes contact with Danny Durtschi.
Landed some big shots.
It looks like he was almost out there. Johnny takes him down with a big throw, and now
that's it. That's it.
Pummeling the back of the head of Danny Durtschi.
Danny Durtschi was a railroad tie with the steam engine. Johnny Ritchie coming over the top.
Lonnie Foster doesn't need to see any more than that. You got to step in and stop this fight, whether Danny wants it to or not, and you saw it as it happened. There it is. Johnny Ritchie, just a matter of seconds into the first round. Do you think you're tough? Do you think you're bad? Do you believe you're the meanest man on the block? Then prove it at the fiercest fighting show in town. The Ultimate Combat Experience is currently looking for fighters and participants of all backgrounds. Call today at area code 801-755-7843 or log on to ultimatecombat.com to register and become part of the experience.
Welcome back. Once again, we're here at Spirit West Studios going over some old footage of Johnny Ritchie, the little ball of hate. I'll never forget, after he wrecked over the first couple guys come into my office that were beating on the door. Who is this Johnny guy? I want to beat this kid up. One guy in particular, a Marine.
The Marine.
Came in and says, give me a piece of this kid, man. We've been watching this thing at home. We want to kill this guy. So, Johnny Ritchie, what do you do to him?
Hey, you know, first off, it's kind of a sign of respect. And when you step into the ring, you come across the ring, you want to touch gloves with your opponent. It's just a sign to say, hey, let's have a good fight. May the best man win. And nothing ticks me off more when you go to touch gloves and the guy won't do it. This guy didn't want to do it, and so I had to punish him for it.
I got no respect for this little ball of hate. Jess Nelson said he was doing it for the court. Check it out.
Mike, you called them the 3 not-so-wise men, and here's the 3rd of them, and when he sees who his opponent is tonight, he may want to just jump back on his camel and go home.
Jesse Nelson here. He's actually the leader of the bunch, brought the other 2 in. Hopefully he can save their faces.
Well, saving his face might be something he'd want to do because he's up against the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie, getting himself ready to get in the ring and put on a show.
Well, and I told Jesse Nelson exactly who he was fighting. Johnny Ritchie, the little ball of hate, the superstar of the show. And Jesse said, bring him on.
Well, Johnny's ready. Got his 6 shooters out. We just saw that, and Lonnie Foster gets us underway. They're supposed to touch gloves,
nice
but
kick.
wow, what? Ow! Immediately, not just taken down to the mat, but thrown down to the mat by Johnny Ritchie.
Johnny was not impressed with that kick whatsoever. It was a nice kick, but it didn't land, and now he's paying for it.
Boy, Jesse Nelson's got himself tied up in a knot here, and in just a moment, as soon as Johnny can get in position, I think he's going to be in big, big trouble, and there it is. He gets into the full mount and just starts wailing away.
This kid's taking some shots here. Talk about saving face.
It's that saving face we were talking about. There's already blood on the face of Jesse Nelson. I'm sure Lonnie's going to want to keep a very close watch on this, and you know what? That's all he wants to see.
Wisely steps out. Jesse was fighting back a little bit, but he wasn't going to win this fight. Good call that wave off by Lonnie.
No kidding. Saved his. Oh, there's the throat slash I was waiting for earlier. We usually get that at the beginning of a round.
Johnny never disappoints.
There's the kick, and that's about all Jesse got in before he was just thrown down to the mat. But lucky to be alive at this point, and so you can see there he is, the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie. He'll be back for next week's championship round.
Well, he did for the core, man.
Yeah.
Maybe the apple core, man. Hey, Johnny Ritchie steamrolled the competition, but once again, these guys were beating down my door saying, give me a piece of this kid. I was taking the calls week in and week out. Who is this Johnny guy? Who is this ball of whatever he is coming in? And I heard it all. Rob Green said, I've done some Muay Thai kickboxing. This guy is untrained. I'm going to demolish this kid. Johnny, what happened?
You know what? Honestly, he freaked me out in the locker room. I remember warming up and stretching and talking to some other fighters. And this guy, he's got these glasses on. He kind of looks like a goofball. Then he takes his shirt off and he's covered in tattoos. And then he starts doing his Muay Thai kicks and he's warming up. And I'm thinking, here we go. I'm going to get beat in front of all these people. And so I went out there a little bit nervous, but, well, you'll just see what happens.
You'll see what happens. Rob Green was the next victim of the little ball of hate.
All right, so, Mike, we both have a little bit of a disadvantage here. Rob's not going to wear those glasses through the fight, is he?
It's not. Rob actually comes in with a really long resume. He's taken Taekwondo, Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai. He's got a really lengthy martial arts background. And there's the little ball of hate.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of his fight, actually. Just watching the theatrics, buddy. Give me the 6 shooters. Rob Green, 5'10", 145 pounds. He's 25 years old. And the little ball of hate, 5'7", 154 and 24. On paper, it looks like a good matchup, but we'll see what happens here. Johnny recognizing all the fans in the crowd, winding up. You know, I haven't seen the 6 shooters yet. Usually we get a little throat. Talking earlier about how these fighters sometimes get a boost from the crowd that comes with them. That's certainly the case with Johnny Ritchie. I don't know that there's anybody that gets more of support than Johnny Ritchie does in the ring.
Well, yeah, Johnny's one of the more popular guys in this tournament. He actually gets people stopping him in the street nowadays, recognizing him from our show. So.
The big surprise to all of us, and I know Johnny too, was that on last week's show you saw in the finals of the first round, he actually went down to defeat.
Yeah, but Johnny's come back. He's more determined. He's training hard. He's a new, improved Johnny Ritchie, believe me.
Well, we're about to see what that new and improved little ball of hate actually looks like. So he's a big ball of hate now, actually.
I'm sure he'll bust him out here. Again, Green's got a little bit more of a longer history as far as how long he's been training, but Johnny probably has a little more fight record. He's been fighting a little bit more. So and he didn't try to rush in. He took a couple small shots and he landed a big one of his own.
Now, what's Rob calling for? He's acting like, looked like
he's still shaking the effects of it off.
Well, I thought he was going to put the chokehold on him. It looked like Johnny was going to.
Yeah.
Rob Green makes a couple of good contacts with a left hand to the face of Johnny Ritchie, and Johnny gives him one back that knocks him down.
I like what I saw with Johnny there. He was real patient.
Goodness gracious, Lonnie, he let him hit him 4, 5, 6 times. Johnny said, now hang on just a minute, let me fight.
Nice little leg kick there, setting up another headshot. Nice job.
And he gets through with the left hand just like that. Right hand, left hand combination, and Johnny gets him back on his heels once again, this time not all the way down to the mat, but there's a big knee to the face. You can see Rob trying to bail out, looking to find a way out of here.
He was visibly stunned by that knee, and I'm not sure.
On that chokehold, but now he gets him in the full mount. 1, 2, 3. Lonnie's got to stop this fight.
That was, Johnny's doing what he's supposed to do. He's out there with that killer instinct, and probably should have stepped in a little bit quicker there.
But anytime you see a fighter in a situation, there's the throat slash we're waiting for. You see a fighter in that situation, can't defend himself, you got to stop it. And there's your winner, Johnny Ritchie. You at home, he's looking at you. The little ball of hate, just like that.
Beat this kid up One guy in particular, a Marine.
The Marine.
Came in and says, give me a piece of this kid, man. We've been watching this thing at home. We want to kill this guy. So, Johnny Ritchie, what'd you do to him?
Hey, first off, it's kind of a sign of respect. And when you step into the ring, you come across the ring, you want to touch gloves with your opponent. It's just a sign to say, hey, let's have a good fight. May the best man win. And nothing ticks me off more when you go to touch gloves and the guy won't do it. This guy didn't want to do it, and so I had to punish him for it.
I got no respect for this little ball of hate. Jess Nelson said he was doing it for the court. Check it out.
Mike, you called them the three not-so-wise men, and here's the third of them, and when he sees who his opponent is tonight, he may want to just jump back on his camel and go home.
Jesse Nelson here. He's actually the leader of the bunch, brought the other two in. Hopefully he can save a little face here.
Well, saving his face might be something he'd want to do because he's up against the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie, getting himself ready to get in the ring and put on a show.
Well, and I told Jesse Nelson exactly who he was fighting. Johnny Ritchie, the little ball of hate, the superstar of the show. And Jesse said, bring him on.
Well, Johnny's ready. Got his 6 shooters out. We just saw that, and Lonnie Foster gets us underway. They're supposed to touch gloves,
nice
but
kick.
wow, what? Ow! Immediately, not just taken down to the mat, but thrown down to the mat by Johnny Ritchie.
Johnny was not impressed with that kick whatsoever. It was a nice kick, but it didn't land, and now he's paying for it.
Boy, Jesse Nelson's got himself tied up in a knot here, and in just a moment, as soon as Johnny can get in position, I think he's going to be in big, big trouble, and there it is. He gets into the full mount and just starts wailing away.
This kid's taking some shots here. Talk about saving face.
It's that saving face we were talking about. There's already blood on the face of Jesse Nelson. I'm sure Lonnie's going to want to keep a very close watch on this, and you know what? That's all he wants to see.
Wisely steps out. Jesse was fighting back a little bit, but he wasn't really in this fight. Good call out, wave off by Lonnie.
No kidding. Saved his. Oh, there's the throat slash I was waiting for earlier. We usually get that at the beginning of a round.
Johnny never disappoints.
There's the kick, and that's about all Jesse got in before he was just thrown down to the mat. But lucky to be alive at this point, and so you can see, there he is, the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie. He'll be back for next week's championship round.
Well, he did.
Do you think you're tough? Do you think you're bad? Do you believe you're the meanest man on the block? Then prove it at the fiercest fighting show in town. The Ultimate Combat Experience is currently looking for fighters and participants of all backgrounds. Call today at area code 801-755-7843 or log on to ultimatecombat.com to register and become part of the experience.
Welcome back. Once again, we're here at Spirit West Studios reviewing our old footage of Johnny Ritchie. It's a tribute to the little ball of hate. We're inducting him into the Ultimate Combat Experience Hall of Fame. I can't tell you how proud I am of this kid. And one of the most proudest moments.
Well, he probably has been told that from his corner people as well, so let's see what he does to take advantage of this round. Maybe a little more active with the fist, and you can tell that he's at least looking that way.
You can see Alberto wants to land that big punch, but Johnny wisely takes him down, or is trying to take him down here. Doesn't want to stand up and trade. That's the only way Johnny can lose at this point.
Too far outside of the ropes for this one to continue in that direction, so Lonnie resets them out in the middle of the ring. Hello. Oh, he puts them back in their corners, I see. Alberto was walking away here. Johnny Ritchie just continues to work away on that right leg and then immediately goes for the takedown.
Takes him down and gets a side mount here. That's nice work by Johnny Ritchie. He's not doing anything to keep Alberto's hips away from turning in. It looks like Alberto's going to pull him into his guard. That was a nice job on both parts.
We've seen a lot of guys, when they get that side mount position, will just start throwing knees to the midsection or the rib cage and try and soften up an opponent that way. But Johnny didn't get a chance to do it. Alberto very wisely got him within his guard there.
Yeah, Johnny is trying to put that neck wrench on. I wouldn't advise that so much, but he thinks he's got it on. When you're in that side mount, if you've got to have a post down, whether it be a knee or an arm, that stops your opponent from pulling you into his guard, and Johnny didn't do that, unfortunately. And then for him, that Alberto pulls him into his guard and is now looking to climb up the body and look for some type of submission.
Doesn't happen very often, but for a skilled fighter and somebody that is...
So Johnny passing the guard there, getting a half mount there. Nice job.
For somebody that is as wiry as Alberto Castillo is, we have seen it where a guy will actually get a submission hold on from this position by working their way up the body.
Yeah, because he's so flexible, he can get up there and do that. But from this side or this half guard position, it's tough to get anything. And Johnny's punishing him there with that left hand.
If he could zero in with that left hand, he missed on a few of those throws. But, boy, if he could zero in with a couple of those punches, yeah, he might be able to do some damage here.
Again, it's Alberto that's going to need to do something in this round to win the fight. It seems as though he's lost the first 2 rounds. And Johnny, he can just kind of hang out here and stall out a victory, whereas Alberto's got to do something to win over the judges.
I was about to say, short of a submission hold, Alberto may be in a whole lot of trouble here as far as pulling out a victory.
Yeah, he's going to have to do something. He's going to at least have to get up and land some shots of some sort. And it looks like he's trying to. Johnny's just laying on top of him, keeping the pressure on, making it difficult for him to do that.
Every once in a while, Johnny will pull back and throw a fist and then quickly get back down so that he doesn't make himself open for a punch from Alberto. There's another right hand.
But Alberto sneaking up the body again. Johnny wants to watch for that.
Making it easy for Alberto to get direction from his corner. They're right there in the blue corner. But
not a whole lot you can tell him from here. He's just got to have to create something because there's not a whole lot you can do from there.
There's the end of the fight. But
Johnny Ritchie's got his payback there.
Well, and I do agree with you, Mike, that he looks like he's in a whole lot better shape than he was the last time these two met. But let's see how the judges see it. No doubt about it, your winner is the little ball of hate, Johnny Ritchie.
A new and improved little ball of hate. Great fight.
There he is with the cup. Congratulations, and give me that face.
You see what I ever had was the end of this fight that we're right in the middle of. Rounds 2 and 3 of the Alberto Castillo, Johnny Ritchie, round 2. Check it out.
Johnny fighting the way you'd like to see him fight?
Yeah, he's actually using a good game plan here. He's not really forcing the issue, but he's active. Going with a takedown again, doing a great job.
Takedown.
I'd like to see him do a little more from here, though, instead of stopping. What he does after the takedown is he kind of settles in rather than actually trying to improve his position immediately.
Yeah, if he could just swing that leg over, but Alberto's not the kind of guy that'll just give that position up to you very easily either.
He's so long. He reminds me a lot of Royce Gracie when he first came onto the scene. He was just so long and awkward for people. They had really had a hard time dealing with how long his arms and legs were, and surprisingly strong as well. For a guy that's so skinny, he's really a strong kid.
And watch him start to work his way out of this one. Johnny almost in that full mount. But you can see Alberto Castillo using his right leg to prevent that from happening.
I think Johnny just wants to relax here a little bit, start to push on the head to create a little bit of distance for himself. But he seems content to just kind of hang out here for just a minute.
Both of them just planning where their next move might come. Now Johnny tries to get the left hand around, throws a punch underneath her. I don't know how he got it through.
That was a nice little combination, though. He brought the head down and fed him a couple uppercuts underneath.
Working their way back out to the center of the ring here, away from the ropes.
One thing that's really interesting, I'm watching both these guys. They're really paying close attention to their corners, listening to the advice. It's almost a game of chess. Their corners are kind of telling them what to do, and both of them are responding nicely.
Johnny saw an opportunity, although it was brief, to get a right and a left hand in there, and Alberto covers up again. But you're right in the middle of the throes of this, you'll see Alberto look up and make eye contact with his corner. Johnny does the same thing, and you'll see him shake his hands occasionally to get loose. Not looking to get loose here. He's looking for opportunities.
I think Johnny's content to stay right where he's at. He's taken Alberto down. He's thrown the bigger shots here. He's won the round. There's really no reason to press the issue right here.
If most of a round goes just the way we're seeing it here, though,
that's pretty painful on the neck right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, who wins the advantage in a situation like this? Does a judge see this particular spot as Johnny being totally in control?
Again, you can't really get into the judge's mind. Me as a judge, I like to see the guy who's initiating the contact, initiating the pace of the fight. And Johnny did initiate the takedown. He's thrown and landed more punches than Alberto, and Alberto really hasn't had done much other than hold him in his guard. He hasn't really gone for a submission or anything. He's just kind of hanging out underneath.
He does have Johnny locked up
that
with
neck
the legs,
wrench is really not one of the best submission, but on a lesser fighter this might you'd get a submission out of it, but because it is uncomfortable. But really Alberto's too tough a kid to be getting that.
Boy, and then as he releases the head from that lock, he throws a punch on the way down, which can't feel good either. There's the end of the second round.
Once again, a defining moment for Johnny Ritchie.
Was.
He came
It definitely
back,
was.
And you know, I think nobody inspired you more than the lovely Alexis, obviously.
Oh,
man.
obviously.
And then his crowd. Johnny Ritchie had people came to see this kid fight, and they cheered for him. And I think really they uplifted you and helped you get that victory.
They did. I mean, first and foremost, I definitely want to thank my friends and my family and the people that are close to me, and even people that kind of know the reputation.
Hey, I remember kind of a funny story that back then we were on the radio, and Johnny Ritchie thanked his fans.
Yeah, yeah.
These
My
people, they
friend.
called him up at home and said, "We're not your fans, we're
We're
your
your
friends and
friends."
family. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?"
So
So what do you think you are, a big superstar? Hey, well, Johnny Ritchie went back onto his destroying ways, and this next fight, I think it was a Fruit of the Loom commercial. We saw more of this kid's underwear. Johnny Ritchie throws his kid down and really embarrasses him. Check it out, more of the little ball of hate.
And our first fighter getting ready to step into the ring and showing off his guns tonight is Ivan Taylor.
Just little baby pistols there, too.
Better get a concealed weapons permit to carry those things around. What do we know about this guy?
Ivan Taylor's another one of those street fighters, and he came in with a bunch of friends, and all his friends testified that this kid's the toughest kid we've ever seen. He's used to knocking out 200-pound kids, and just an all-around tough street fighter kid.
Ivan, what can you tell me about not only your confidence, but why people should be confident in you winning the fight tonight?
I don't care if anybody's confident in me. I got confidence in myself, and that's all that matters.
Well, he's got the attitude for it. We'll find out shortly if he's got the training to actually pull it off inside the rope. So Ivan Taylor steps in, and his opponent tonight just about ready to be introduced, and you can tell from the crowd in the background, the little ball of hate. They love this guy.
There's the big guns there. Johnny Ritchie brings in the six-shooters, and he knows what to do with them.
He does indeed, and anytime he gets in the ring, and we have seen him lose a couple of fights, but it's always entertaining.
He's definitely into the crowd entertainment, that's for sure.
5'7", 154 pounds. The little ball of hate looks like he's ready to go tonight.
I like to come out quick and furious and take people to the ground, and now you're in my world. Now you're in my world, you're in my territory, and when you're on the ground, I'm not going to stop pounding you. I'm not going to stop punishing you and punching you. And ultimately I'm looking for the knockout, but I'll take a submission, I'll take a choke. But the number one thing I like to do is knock people out all day long.
Johnny has learned from past experience, Mike, that he has to fight his fight.
Big words from the little man there. I love Johnny Ritchie. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Jeremy Haskell is your referee, and Ivan says bring it. So
Johnny kicks him in the groin. No call on it, though, but looks like Ivan's a pretty game fighter, though. He's standing and trading with Johnny Ritchie here.
I don't know if that's a good idea on Taylor's part, though, I'm telling you. He immediately tries to put on a hold, but man, look at the power of Johnny Ritchie. Just drives him down to the mat.
And drops the shorts off at Ivan Taylor there as well. He's got his tighty-whities showing there.
It's not like you've got a free hand to reach down there and actually pull him up. What do you do? Keep fighting, I guess.
Should have cinched those shorts up.
He's in big trouble here.
Yeah, Johnny's got him in a pretty tough position here. Johnny's being real patient, too, which I like to see. Johnny's growing as a fighter here. Previously, he would have just been trying to throw these punches, and then he waited, got a good position, and now he's throwing the punches.
Here's the one thing you've told me before. You never want to give up your back to an opponent, and that's exactly what Ivan just did.
You know, and Johnny's not even looking to choke him. He's looking to punish him, it looks like. Maybe he didn't like the way this fight started. So Johnny's looking to land these big bombs, and as he said in his interview, he just wants to punish you.
Well, he's in total control here. There's no doubt about that. There's nothing but covered up and protection on the part of Ivan Taylor. And Johnny now trying to roll him back over, I think, so he could get this over with.
Oh, that was a nice shot. And again, not to repeat myself, but Johnny has really grown as a fighter, and he's really become more patient. I liked how he pulled his hand out of the way and then punched him in the face.
Well, and we've seen Johnny before.
Yeah, we got a tap there.
There's the tap already from Ivan Taylor. He'd want to pull up his pants.
As we
And the little ball of hate's coming up.
Oh, they don't get any tougher than Robert
The
Ensley.
little ball of hate. They love this guy.
And then Robert Ensley, he's an awesome fighter. He's a wrestler. He's going to ground and pound.
He wants a knockout, and boy, he is throwing right hand, left
There's
hand.
the big guns there. Johnny Ritchie brings in the six shooters, and he knows
The
what to do
little
with
ball
them.
of hate looks like he's ready to go tonight.
Well, these guys will land punches, I assure
You got a
you.
good punch that usually knocks people
I feel
down.
confident on my feet, and if it needs to go down to the mat, then I feel comfortable going down to the ground.
Just come out punching. Ensley always goes right to the head. He wants a knockout. He's in big trouble here.
And now you're in my world. Now you're in my world. You're my territory. When you're on the ground, I'm not going to stop pounding you. I'm not going to stop punishing you and punching you. And ultimately, I'm looking for the knockout.
You thought Alberto Castillo made shivers go up his spine. The Wrecker, Robert the Wrecker Ensley. And if you watch the show at all,
Makes me
you know
sweat.
who this guy is. Well, he made his debut by beating the snot out of this kid.
Yeah.
Johnny, what do you have to say about the Wrecker?
You know,
That one went quick, and you saw a lot of this kid's tighty whities. But Johnny Ritchie, what do you remember about Ivan?
hey, I remember Ivan the Terrible. This guy is such a good guy. You know, I actually went camping up in Schofield, and I ran into his family after I beat him, and I thought it was a scene out of Deliverance. I was, I'm like, these guys are going to probably skin me, shoot me. But they were actually really good guys. They really thought it was great that I whooped their brother's butt. But, I've talked to Ivan, and Ivan came back and fought in the tournament a couple more times.
Ivan, every time we had him fight, he was up hunting. I had to call him up, and he was, I'm hunting right now, but I'll come down on Saturday and beat somebody up, man. We got more of Johnny Ritchie, the little ball of hate, our Hall of Fame inductee coming up.
The Wrecker is one, he, like you say, he amplifies. He is the ultimate combat experience. This is one of those guys that first came in the tournament, he had a couple losses right in the beginning, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm beating guys left and right. Who's this tattooed guy? I'm going to waste this kid. I'm really going to blow through him. That was my mindset. Wrong idea. Robert the Wrecker comes in and does some damage that it was hard for me to walk away from. I was sore for a couple weeks after this fight. And well, I'll let you guys check it out.
Check
but
this one out. It's
a good one.
You can tell the crowd's ready for it, and all of those Johnny Ritchie fans standing right behind him there ringside. We wish you could be here with us live to see it tonight.
Lonnie Foster gets him started, and as expected, they come right out throwing bombs at each other. Johnny Ritchie coming over the top, but Robert Ensley doing a nice job of taking him down.
We've seen Ensley go for the first minute to minute and a half of these fights before, standing toe-to-toe and boxing it. So he obviously sees some advantage in getting Johnny down on the mat first.
Robert Ensley tells me he really doesn't formulate a game plan. He comes out and just what happens, happens. And Robert, obviously the flow of the fight took him to the ground. He's not looking to take Johnny Ritchie down or stay up with him. He just kind of goes with the flow.
Well, what happened there was they ended up outside the ring, and now comes that flurry from
the big knee right there
from the
Robert
top
Ensley.
side. And Johnny says, I don't want any part of this. Let's go down to the mat, but Ensley's having nothing to do with that.
We've seen Johnny. He's excellent at takedowns. He got in a deep shot there on Ensley. Ensley able to stave him off. And again, Ensley throwing some big shots, knees and punches, and then Johnny Ritchie answering. What a great battle so far.
It really is, and you see Ensley come with a knee, so it's almost like Johnny says, here's one back. Then they throw right hands and square off with the left.
Boy, they're just trading punches. They have no regard for defense. They're just sitting here and let me see who can take what I've got.
Right now, Ensley happy to get the knees in there and then steps back to throw a couple of punches.
Big punch over the top by Ensley. And again, there's no backup in either one of these guys. They don't care what you've got. Let's show you what I've got.
Johnny does keep looking to take down Robert Ensley, but just not getting that opportunity yet.
Both of them very good high school wrestlers. So they've got a wrestling background. Both of them able to take down and defend takedowns very nicely.
Yeah, Johnny's sucking some pretty good air here to start this fight. And conditioning has been a problem for him in the past.
Look at that. Ensley picks up the kick, holds it in his hand, and just continues to punch over the top. Man, this kid is awesome.
Which is absolutely legal.
Oh, absolutely legal. And it was just great. I mean, to see it happen, you don't see that happen too often. People drop their hands to grab a kick. Usually they're the one being punched.
Well, then to have the balance to hold the guy off while he's trying to kick you and still get some punches from the top.
He just doesn't stop. He's got a nice position there, and he still starts throwing knees at the thighs. And believe me, those will take a toll on you. Johnny Ritchie's going to be walking funny tomorrow.
Remember those old days when your older brother used to give you the Charlie horse in the thigh? That's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, except if your brother hit you that hard, man, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Mom had ground him for more than a week, I guarantee you. So there's a little holding on going on here as Johnny Ritchie tries to figure out where his next opportunity is, but Ensley's not going to wait.
Yeah, I think Johnny's out of gas here. He's sucking a little bit of air and looking to hide out just a little bit here, but Robert Ensley not letting him do that. He's looking to capitalize on the fact that Johnny Ritchie's sucking a little air here.
Little ball of hate tried a little reversal there. Didn't quite make it. Ensley did a good job of recovering his position. And now, I thought he was going to put on a chokehold there.
Well, again, see, Robert Ensley's just a tough kid, and he doesn't really know these finishes all that well. If he would learn a little bit of a technique. This kid could be a world-class fighter. He has all the goods. He just needs to learn a little bit.
Wow, that was a tough throw that I thought Johnny was going to get on him, but again, Ensley finds his way back to the top to end the round.
Oh, he almost did get that throw, but I think Johnny out of gas and just didn't have quite enough to get around on top.
As expected, we told you there was going to be a lot of action in this one, and I think as what happened with Johnny at the end of the first round of Ultimate Combat, he just needs to pace himself a little bit better.
Yeah, you can see right here, Robert Ensley not nearly as tired as Johnny Ritchie looks in his corner. Johnny's in a little bit of trouble here in my view.
Although when you've got an opponent who's coming at you like Ensley does, how do you pace yourself? Because you're constantly on the defensive.
There's absolutely no way to pace yourself. That's what I'm saying. Robert Ensley just coming at him with too much, throwing the kitchen sink at him, and Johnny Ritchie's in a little bit of trouble here because Robert Ensley is not about to let up.
We're scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, but boy, 3 minutes seems like forever if you're in the middle of something like this war.
You can see Johnny trying to shoot in, hide out a little bit, but look, Robert Ensley is just a continuous, non-stop fighter.
He's something to watch because if you give him a right hand, he's going to take that opportunity. If you give him a left hand, he'll take that. If you want to stand and box, he'll do that.
And he took that nice takedown. There's got a full mount on Johnny Ritchie here. Johnny Ritchie's in trouble.
Johnny now just trying to protect his face, and
Robert not letting him.
He's going to give him some forearms right across the bridge of the nose there.
Hey, you know, Johnny said in his interview that this kid's hungry, and you can see it. This Robert Ensley is hungry, man, and he has a statement to make here, and he's making it. Johnny Ritchie looking to bail out. He's rolling to his stomach here, almost giving Robert Ensley his back. He's saving his face a little bit, but I think Robert Ensley going to sneak a little chokehold on here.
Well, and again, you talk about Ensley maybe getting a little more training with the finishing holds. This might be it.
Yeah.
There it is. So Robert Ensley gets one more opportunity as Johnny Ritchie, I believe, as you said in the first round, Mike, was just out of gas and rolled over and basically gave up his back to Ensley.
And a nice little backflip right there from Ensley. You can see, again, he's not tired at all if he's doing that kind of stuff.
After that, but we've actually become great friends, and I do enjoy watching Robert fight, as long as it's not my fight. When this was going on, I was in the other room, so.
Johnny Ritchie then, you know, he's no longer the little ball I hate. He's the big ball I hate, the big beach ball I hate. Johnny Ritchie he left the lightweight division. He graduated, bumped up to the middleweights. Brandon Holt was his first victim in the middleweight division, and he back to his old beaten ways. Check it out. Said Johnny Ritchie was back on his beating ways. It appears I found out later that you knew Brandon Holt or knew the small world.
Yeah, it's small world, man. My girlfriend, the lovely Alexis, she actually works, she's a financial coordinator for an orthodontics office. And right next door to her office is another office, and the lady that's kind of the secretary.
We first started getting together for Ultimate Combat almost a year ago, Mike. He was the show downtown, wasn't he?
He still is, no doubt about it. Johnny Ritchie still is. He's got the best man in the business working his corner, though, Mike Colby.
Oh.
And Johnny coming out throws a big knee to start things off. And you can see Brandon Holt clearly was stunned by that and sent him right to the ground.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is put your head down when Johnny Ritchie's on the charge, particularly early in a match.
Johnny being really very patient here, though, after he knows he had his opponent in trouble. Very patiently works to get full mount, and watch out now, boy.
Yeah. This is when he goes to work, or as he likes to say, put the hooks in the opponent.
And he's going to start dropping bombs here. See, his corner's telling him to relax there, and he's done that. He's going to sit up and drop these big shots. And Lonnie Foster's going to step in there.
That's it. That's got to be it.
Very graciously. Yeah, Brandon Holt was tapping, but I think Lonnie Foster was on top of it before he started tapping. And Johnny Ritchie makes a big return to the ring.
He does indeed, and Brandon Holt found himself stuck in front of a freight train right there. Now you can get the six-shooters out, big guy. Fight's over.
As in this other office, it's actually Brandon Holt's mom. Well, she finds out that we're fighting, and she's telling Alexis, "Don't let him kill my son. I don't want to. Don't let him fight." But we end up fighting. We end up becoming friends, and I see his mom every now and then, and she's always quick to give me a hug. And you really realize the friendships you make and the people that you meet. It's great. It's awesome.
It's awesome seeing what happens. You're in a fight. You're going up against each other. You end up being great,
Good
best of friends.
yeah.
But it's nice to see him out. He says, "The lovely Alexis." He's so whipped. I love it, man.
Love her.
We got more of Johnny Ritchie coming up. Welcome back. Once again, we're here at Spirit West Studios, checking out some old footage of Johnny Ritchie. Johnny Ritchie was the little ball I hate. He was beating people up in the lightweight division. Then he gets up to the heavyweight or the middleweight division. He's the big ball I hate. He beats up Brandon Holt, and then I get a phone call from this kid, James Gale, fought in round one. We hadn't seen him since, but he said, "Man, I hated Johnny Ritchie back in round one, but I was just too big to fight him. He was in the lightweight division. Now I see he's in the middleweight division. I want to kill this kid. I've hated him for a year now. Give me a shot at him." So we did.
Yeah, that's the thing is I don't know why he hates me. Maybe he doesn't know the real me. Like we said before, I mean, I'm real personal. I like to meet people, and I'm the first one to congratulate someone on a victory and the first one to raise a hand and give a hug. But I don't like people that hate me for no reason. This guy did. It's evident. He doesn't want to touch gloves. Once again, something I don't enjoy when my opponent doesn't want to show me their respect. So I laid a whooping on him. Don't blink or you're going to miss this one too.
James Gale, this one's for you.
Yeah, hey, James, I'm glad you called. I'm glad you're looking for a tough fighter, and you did that by giving me a call or giving Mike a call and letting him know that you're looking for someone to stomp you. And I hope that there's going to be a good fight tonight, but watch out, brother, because I'm coming, and I'm looking for you, man, so let's do it.
Well, it looks like Johnny's got his eyes set on Sharp. There should be nothing that should stop him. Johnny should, lead the competition.
He better be careful not to look past anybody when you step in here.
Steve Sharp isn't the only one in this division. There are a couple of speed bumps in the way there. I wouldn't be looking at Steve Sharp
James
yet.
Gale just did the knife down. He didn't like that.
He did, and look at the game face he's putting on him here. Kind of a war of facial expressions going on as Lonnie Foster gives them their last-minute instructions.
Well, they had the war of the stupid-looking hat earlier, and now that's the war of the stupid looks.
These guys look enough alike to be brothers, to be honest with you.
I think maybe James Gale's been sitting home practicing his Johnny Ritchie face.
Well, here we go. The brawls of fall, round number 1, the return of the little ball of hate. Comes out to look for a
ball of hate
little
wants
touch
to
of
touch
the gloves.
and James Gale wasn't no part of it. And he's eating the gloves now.
No kidding. You don't want to touch the gloves? How about 2 or 3 shots to the head? And is this it?
That's it, man. All that talk, all that hype, all those long interviews, and 4 punches, and we're done.
Oh, my gosh, and that's all it was. I mean, literally, and 3 of those 4 went right to the chin. Johnny decides to take a little fall himself.
The Nestea plunge.
What's James saying? He wants to know.
He's just figuring it out now that the fight's over. He got his bell rung. He didn't know where he was.
Was I out?
I think he was saying that was fun.
Oh.
Now, Johnny Ritchie's tearing through the competition. But
once again,
Johnny decided, hey, I've been doing this thing for a year. I'm getting fat. I'm getting old. I want to spend more time with the lovely Alexis. And I tease him about being fat because I'm fatter than he is. But Johnny Ritchie says, I'm going to have one more fight. I'm going to give you one more fight, Mike Stidham. I'm going to fight the toughest kid you have in your tournament right now, Steve Sharp. He's from the Ensley camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know a little bit about,
I know about those guys,
right? Those guys
Definitely
are tough. But, kind of a sad moment in Ultimate Combat. One of Johnny Ritchie's best friends died 3 days prior to the fight, and Johnny dedicated this fight to him. What was going through your mind as this fight was coming up?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't want to use the death of my friend as a cop-out. Obviously, it did have an impact, but something that I should have been training for months. Looking past Steven the Razor Sharp is a bad idea for anyone. Anybody that's going to fight Steven, don't look past him.
Right.
This guy can take a shot and give a shot, and I found that out, that if you don't come in at 100%, you're not going to be coming out a winner. So.
Well, it was a very emotional night, a very special night, because we knew we were seeing the last of Johnny Ritchie, and again, it was emotional for him. But it's one of the best first rounds of a fight I've ever seen. When I say first rounds, because Johnny Ritchie's not afraid of anything but the second round.
But the second round.
Anyway, check this out. It's Steve Sharp and Johnny Ritchie.
Little ball of hate, the little butter ball of hate.
The little beach ball of hate. He's really put on the weight since he started this tournament, but he's just a fierce fighter. We saw him come out and knock James Gale out with just a flurry of punches. He's going up against Steven Razor Sharp tonight, though. It's going to be a great matchup.
You see the bounce? It's going to be a little tits of hate.
Look at the concentration on these guys' face. It's all business tonight for the main event. I really feel like, too, the fighting styles of these guys, whoever survives the early flurry of this matchup probably has the best chance of winning it.
Well, Johnny Ritchie needs to come out and end the fight early. His conditioning has not been the greatest. We know Steven Razor Sharp can go 3 solid rounds, so I'm looking to see Johnny Ritchie come out real strong to begin.
Little touch of the gloves. Let's see who's first to throw a bomb. There's a right kick from Johnny.
Johnny Ritchie throwing leg kicks. We haven't seen too much out of him before.
Both of them showing respect for those punches, though, you can tell. They're happy to throw the kicks and step back out.
Both dropped their hands when they punch, and Steven Razor Sharp ate a nice big punch over the top when he kicked.
He took another one right there from Johnny, too.
Yeah, these guys need some work. They're dropping their hands every time they kick there, and somebody's going to catch them on the chin. I think Steven Sharp's found that out a couple times.
Johnny now going for the 2-leg takedown. Let's see if he can get it. And Razor trying to fight it off, but finally ends up with his back on the mat.
Well, that took a lot of energy, though. We talked about Johnny Ritchie's conditioning being a factor. He shot in and lifted 175 pounds of Razor Sharp up off the ground. It wasn't like an easy lift. He had to lift with his back and legs, and now he's probably going to wish he hadn't.
And right now he's the one taking the abuse, even though he's within the guard there of Razor.
Well, he was trying to do a neck crank, which you might submit some guys on. You're not going to submit Steven Razor Sharp with it. And it looks like Johnny Ritchie wisely is trying to get a breath of air here. He's sitting back in Stephen Razor Sharp's guard and kind of getting a win here.
Well, and this isn't like the fighting styles of either one of these guys. Neither one of them really like to sit and wait to fight. They're usually very much the aggressor.
That's a big pop right there.
They do like to fight with aggressiveness, but I think Johnny Ritchie knows he's going to have to conserve a little bit of wind here, so he's wisely taking a little breather here, and maybe he can unleash a big flurry here in a minute.
So not as much action as we would have expected with these two guys inside the ropes, but right now both of them, I think, the thought process and where they're going to go next and where they might gain that advantage is really something that they're concentrating on.
Maybe they're thinking about going on that trip that Harvey's going to give away. You can see right there, they're sitting in the corner where herbalmuscle.com's decal is, and Harvey Carmichael's going to be giving a trip away to Jamaica next week in our Best Of show, so you want to stick around and check that out.
Johnny every once in a while frees up that right hand and finds a way to make contact with the head of Razor Sharp.
Nice work there by Johnny Ritchie. And I'm really surprised by Stephen Sharp that he's not trying to climb up the body and looking to submit Johnny Ritchie at all. He's just kind of content to hold him there in his guard.
You know what, and I don't want to say that Razor is gun-shy of taking punches, but he certainly has been on the bad end of some punches in his last couple of fights, and I don't think he wants to find himself in that predicament against Johnny Ritchie.
I'm a little surprised that Johnny keeps trying that neck crank. It's kind of, in my opinion, somewhat of a cheesy move, and it burns a lot of his energy. He's using a lot of arm strength to try to neck crank Stephen Razor Sharp when he's in Stephen's guard. He's just not going to get that move on Steve Sharp.
Well, he's not preventing Stephen from actually doing what he wants to do at this point, and that is occasionally throwing a punch to the side of the head of Johnny Ritchie. And Johnny now using that right hand to throw some punches right to the rib cage.
Johnny, obviously the busier fighter. He's going to win this first round on my scorecard. We'll see if he's got the wind it's going to take to come out and continue this type of onslaught round two.
Oh, cut, stop right there. We don't want to see that second round.
We all know how that fight ended.
It.
Steve Sharp ended up coming out victorious, but that was one of the best first rounds of fighting. And again, Johnny Ritchie, I think you prepared well for that fight. You did what you had to do, but just ran out of gas in the end there. We do have enough time to watch it, but Johnny's not going to let us show it.
I'm not going to let him show it.
And it is Johnny Ritchie's show. It's the Johnny Ritchie show, so we're going to cut it off right there.
Thanks, man.
But Johnny Ritchie, I just want to personally thank you for everything you've done for the show over the past year. You really brought the crowd to us, and then now your involvement in the show. We wouldn't be anywhere near the show that we have been, and I want to personally thank you, Johnny Ritchie.
Mike.
You're my man.
Hey, first off, I want to thank you as well, Mike, because without this opportunity, I wouldn't have